Am I the asshole for not letting my daughter invite her stepdad to walk her down the aisle, especially since I'm paying for everything? So my 56M daughter, 25F, is getting married next spring. I've been looking forward to this for years, and she and I have always been close. Her mom and I split when she was around 12, and she mostly lived with me after that. I've been in her life full time, so I always figured I'd have that classic father-daughter moment at her wedding. Her mom remarried about 5 years ago, and let's just say I'm not a fan of her new husband. He's a guy who always needs to be the center of attention, loud and over the top, and just exhausting. He's pulled stunts even at family gatherings for my side, always making everything about him. I've put up with it to keep things civil, but it's been a challenge for me all the time. I still invite him for my daughter's sake. Fast forward to now, my daughter is wedding planning and told me that she'd like her stepdad to walk her halfway down the aisle with me. I couldn't believe it. I told her that, as her actual father, it's a bit hurtful to have to share this big moment with someone who's only been in her life for a few years. I've been there through everything. Every school event, every late night, every hard time. Her stepdad has just recently come into the picture, and it stings that she wants to include him in a moment I always assumed was ours. To make things even harder to swallow, I'm covering all the wedding expenses. I've spent a significant amount so she could have her dream wedding. I don't want to be petty, but part of me feels like it's only fair to expect that I'd have the honor of walking her down the aisle, just me and her. She got defensive, saying she wants to include him because he's been supportive, but I explained that, to me, this is about a father-daughter tradition and how much I value our relationship. Now she's upset, and my ex-wife has also joined, saying I'm being selfish and making it all about me. I've now become a full-blown topic of discussion, with everyone throwing some pretty harsh words my way. In frustration, I finally told her that if she really wants him to be there, she should ask him if he'd also like to split the bills. That might have been a bit much, but I was feeling cornered. So, am I the asshole for not wanting to share the aisle with her stepdad, especially since I'm also paying for the whole thing? I just want to add a note here, as there is some confusion. My daughter told she wants him to walk her down the aisle as my ex-wife and her husband asked her for this. This was not something that she came up with. Just wanted to provide that clarity, as some people are thinking it was my daughter's wishes. Reply, not the asshole. As a consistently active parent, even into adulthood, this is a significantly special moment for you and your daughter. Whether you're footing the bill of the wedding or not, you and you alone should be the one walking her down the aisle. Although, I have a feeling that the stepdad is the one who suggested this, not your daughter. She might have just been the messenger. Answer, you are right. He did. Him and my ex-wife both did. I love my daughter a lot, but my wife left us alone when my daughter was just 12. She cheated on me and turned her back on our daughter too. She wanted to come back into our life, and I let her because at the end of the day she is my daughter's mother. However, it hurts me that my daughter did not stand up to them or cannot clearly see that they are both trying to come between us. Sometimes I do think I should suck it up, but it breaks my heart at the same time. Reply, they are already manipulating your daughter. Do not allow yourself to fall victim to that as well. Stand your ground. As the person who's paying for the wedding, let them know your only requests are that you be the one who gives her away because you've walked with her through every stage of life and should be the one walking her down the aisle and the father-daughter dance, because from what it sounds like, they'll try to take that from you since you're walking her down the aisle. Also, talk to your daughter and let her know that asking and expecting you to share this moment with a man who played no part in raising her diminishes the constant love and support that you pour into her. Answer, it really means a lot to hear that someone else gets where I'm coming from. It's been rough trying to explain that this isn't about control or making it about me, but rather about honoring the role I've had in her life. I appreciate the advice on setting boundaries. The father-daughter dance is something I hadn't even thought about them taking away, but now I'm worried you're right. I'm going to have an honest conversation with her and make it clear that these two moments, the walk down the aisle and the dance, are all I'm asking for as her father. Reply, tell them he can walk her one halfway, but in return he pays for one half. You're not being petty. I would sit her down cause dollars to donuts her mom and stepdad are pressing her. If she can't stand up to them, then you will be the bad guy and tell them no. She could even say that dad said if he hears from you and him one more time complaining, you will not be invited or you can pay for everything. Answer, thank you, I think you're onto something. It feels like there's definitely some pressure on her from her mom and stepdad, and maybe she's having a hard time saying no to them. I don't want to put her in a position where she feels like she's stuck between us, but it's tough not to feel like my role is being diminished here in some ways. I am thinking of having a serious talk with her about what these moments mean to me, And maybe if nothing is solved, it's fair to ask that if her stepdad wants to share such a big part, he could also help cover the costs. I'm not trying to be petty, but if I'm the one paying for the wedding, I felt it's reasonable to expect a few key moments with my daughter that I will remember till I die. Reply: I think you'll find that most people will agree with you. Maybe after you've gotten additional feedback you can speak with your daughter, and y'all can come to an agreement. It may even help to share some of the feedback you've gotten from her. Good luck to you. Update us if you can. Answer: thank you. I will definitely try to talk to her and give an update by night as she is coming back from university today. Thank you once again for your advice and supportive words. Reply: tell her this. Okay, he can walk down the aisle as well when I get the check for half of the bill. Answer: thank you for the advice. I get that some people might see my stance as petty. Honestly, I feel a bit conflicted about it myself. But my daughter is planning a very grand wedding, which is going to cost around $350,000, plus her dress, which is also pricey, though she hasn't told me the exact amount yet. I'm more than willing to spend this on her because I love her deeply and want to see her happy on her big day. My ex-wife and her husband are also quite well off, and they've been very involved in my daughter's life, mainly my ex-wife. I'm fine with that she's her mother, and I respect the role they both play. But not once have they offered to help cover any of these expenses. I'm the one covering everything, which is why it feels a bit unfair to be asked to share this moment with her stepdad. Reply: everyone sucks here. You are absolutely holding a club over her head and buying affection. Your daughter sees money as a proxy for love. And frankly, your ex-wife is correct. College is more important than an over-the-top wedding. Answer: my ex-wife is correct, however she and her husband are as well off as I am. They are more than able to comfortably do it if they wanted to. I am always willing to pay for my daughter, however. My daughter feels hurt because she is aware her mother has the funds but just denied spending it on her. My ex-wife has inherited large amounts of money from her paternal grandfather, so she is in a comfortable position to pay for her son and also contribute to the wedding if she wanted to. I always knew my ex-wife would deny, but I never wanted my daughter to feel betrayed and abandoned by her mother again. Reply: does your daughter know her mother cheated on you? Answer: she knows, but my ex-wife has told my daughter that she did it because I was an emotionally unavailable partner and never made her happy. She said I was not capable of loving. It broke my heart because I met my ex-wife in high school and really loved her. I don't know what made her feel like I didn't love her. Cheating in any situation is wrong. She could have divorced me, but she decided to be a coward. My daughter has a soft spot for her mother, so she says the cheating was wrong, but her mother was feeling unhappy, and that is why she did it. Update: after talking with my daughter and family, I didn't expect so many people to comment on this situation, and I'm really grateful for all the perspectives and messages I've received. It made me feel very less alone. I also got some messages about the cost of the wedding. I have to add that this is a destination wedding, so some of the bills are due to flight costs, my daughter's makeup artists, and a few gifts I am giving to my daughter. So after taking in your advice, I sat down with my daughter to have an honest conversation about everything. I explained why walking her down the aisle was so important to me, how much it means as her father, and why it felt unfair to be asked to share this moment with her stepdad. I apologized to her, trying to express that I never intended to make her worry about the bills. I told her I am doing it because I love her and want to give her the day of her dreams. I told her I said it out of frustration, and she has nothing to worry about. Unfortunately, the talk didn't go as I'd hoped. She got pretty upset and told me I was ruining her day and that I didn't understand the pressure she was under from everyone to keep the peace. She was worried about her mom getting angry, and when I told her I felt hurt by all of this, she accused me of threatening her and even called me a narcissist. I'll be honest, she used terms I don't fully understand, but it stung. She mentioned that her mom has been really nice to her for the past few years and that she doesn't want to lose that relationship. To her, my ex-wife is her best friend now, and she didn't have that growing up. I get it, my ex-wife and my daughter do have a lot in common. Things like fashion, accessories, and other interests. My daughter is very much like her in that regard. My ex-wife and her husband also came over so they could all discuss it as a family. My sister happened to be there too, and she stayed to support me, which helped me keep my calm. When they arrived, things only got more tense. My daughter told them she no longer wanted me paying for the wedding and asked if they could step in instead. I knew this was a very bad idea and knew it would not end well. I knew she would reject it, but it would break my daughter's heart. I thought my ex-wife will do it in a smart way so my daughter is not hurt, but my ex-wife flat out said she couldn't pay because she was saving for her son's college fund. Her son from a marriage before her current husband. Her son is 15, so college is still 5 to 6 years away, but she said that was her priority. I knew this would end this way, but I never expected my daughter to get frustrated with me and just ask them directly. I knew she trusted her mom deeply, and I did want her to know her mother is not the best support, but I didn't want my daughter finding out this way. I could see it really broke her heart. My daughter really had started to trust her mother. Her husband then jumped in, saying I was being a jerk and making the day about myself. At that point, I finally had enough. I told them that my intent was never to hold anything over anyone, especially not my daughter, and I was only hurt because I wanted a moment with her that I'd looked forward to her whole life. I explained that I was still willing to pay for everything, but my daughter was visibly upset after realizing that her mom and stepdad weren't willing to contribute a cent to the wedding. By the end of it all, my daughter looked heartbroken. I could see she was hurt realizing her mom would rather prioritize her half-brother's college fund, years down the line, over helping with her wedding now. She told me she needed some space to process everything, and I told her I'd give her all the space she needs. As for my ex-wife, she wasn't done. She said I'd ruined everything, and that I was the reason my daughter no longer respects her mother and stepdad. She blamed me for this entire mess, saying I'd manipulated the situation to create a rift between them and my daughter. I'm glad my daughter knows the truth about her mom and stepdad, but I didn't want her to find out this way. So that's where we're at. I'm just trying to be there for my daughter in whatever way she needs, so that's where we're at. Thank you all again for the support. It's helped me feel a lot less alone in this. I have to mention, my future son-in-law had insisted to my daughter that her mom and stepdad should pay for the wedding instead of me. When I talked to him about it afterward, he explained that he wanted my daughter to learn that her mom might not have the best intentions for her. To be fair, he's not a fan of my ex-wife because she's made snarky remarks about his mother in the past, so I know he only did this to get back at my ex-wife, but at the end this has left my daughter feeling broken. She has a very open heart and trusts people easily. I wanted her to know this was wrong, but not in a way where she feels betrayed by her own mother. She carries a lot of pain from the past. Thank you everyone for your kind words. I will end this message here. Wish you all luck.